Hello, and welcome to the Washington Farm Bureau Update, a podcast designed to provide the latest agriculture, legislative, and Farm Bureau information. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm Ben Tyndall, and I'm very excited to share with you today's episode as we're talking to the founders of a new company called Harvust. It's a conversation you're not going to want to miss.
Not only are we building tools that are helping farms become more profitable because they're saving costs and becoming more efficient, but also we're making those jobs healthier, safer. There's just a lot of wins.
We're really focused on building community. There is something so awesome about going to see a new customer, and we don't meet them at their office. We meet them at their kitchen table, and their cat jumps up on the table to have a meeting with us. There's something that is so rewarding about helping small family farms to compete with everyone else.
So I'm excited to be joined today by Riley Clubb and James Hall, who are the founders of a new and innovative program called Harvust. That's Harvest with a U instead of an E. Harvust was recently announced the winner of the 7th annual Farm Bureau Ag Innovation Challenge. This makes Riley and James the 2021 Farm Bureau Entrepreneurs of the Year. Wow, guys, thank you for taking the time to visit with me, as I know our members will be very interested to hear about you and Harvust.
Well, hey, thanks for having us. We're very excited to be here and share kind of the story with you.
Well, first off, congratulations. This is a great win and very exciting. I don't know, 2021 Farm Bureau Entrepreneurs of the Year. That's a pretty awesome title. I like the sound of that. So, Riley, let me start with you. Tell me what you've been feeling over these past few weeks. What's going through your head after something like this?
It's just been a whirlwind year, honestly, 2020. For everybody, right? But for Harvust, we're building safety communication tools for farms. And we went into this year with software that's helping farmers and farm workers just connect better, engage more efficiently and easier and in languages that they understand. And, we're building these tools and a global health pandemic came out of nowhere and really gave us a really kind of exciting year to learn a lot and to grow and develop very, very fast. So it's been an exciting year, and winning the Entrepreneur of the Year award was just kind of the cherry on the top. So it's been a good year.
I bet it has. Well, I want to talk about Harvust in just a minute, but before we get there, tell me a little bit about yourselves. You're a couple of very accomplished young guys who have a keen eye for innovation and technology, but you also have this amazing understanding of the challenges that come with running a farm. So James, walk me through how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, so it pretty much started, a couple of years ago. So I was working for Nelson Irrigation. They're a sprinkler design and manufacturing company here in Walla Walla. And oftentimes I would accompany some of the other engineers out into the field to work with farmers on their systems. And we'd always hear, oh, it's so tough to find people. It's so hard to manage people. We've got tons of regulations I got to comply with. It's just a lot of work. And that really got us thinking, this is a tractable problem. And how can we provide farms the tooling that every other industry has been able to get to help them comply with all these regulations and help them to run their businesses more efficiently? But for some reason, agriculture has been left behind. Well, that's because agriculture has extremely unique needs that most people just don't get. So I started working on this, and then I ran into Riley a couple months later here in Walla Walla.
Yeah, so it was a pretty kind of a random meeting. We were both in a co-working space in Walla Walla, and the topic of Ubers in Boston somehow came up, and James had been working at a hedge fund in Boston. I actually got my master's at MIT. So we didn't know each other in Boston, but when we came back home to Walla Walla, my ears perked up when I heard what he was working on. My family has vineyards. We have an estate winery here in Walla Walla. So that's kind of my connection to the industry. When he told me he was working on farm labor issues, I knew exactly, many of the problems that farmers are challenged with. And so we kind of joined forces right away. We really clicked early on. And, the current iteration and what we kind of went into 2020 with was basically software that helps farmers hire, train, and communicate with their farm employees.
Okay, so this was where the idea grew from, that mutual experience and those observations, which is wonderful as you're developing a modernized, innovative system to meet those needs that you both recognized. So, which I know many people recognize, but you guys have the tools, the knowledge, and the drive to meet those needs in this amazing new way. That is great. So let's dive into Harvust, shall we? So break that down for me. What is Harvust?
Sure. So fundamentally, Harvust is software. Harvust is an app. Harvust is a tool to help farms take an employee from I want to work at your farm to out in the field and being productive as quickly and as cost effectively as possible. And then keeping them there and making sure they're productive. So that tackles everything from getting all of their hiring paperwork, their W-4, their I-9, getting all of that signed as quickly as possible and maintaining compliance on that front, getting all of their safety training done, and then getting them out of the field and making sure that they're at the right place they need to be to do their work and to make money. And that's a win-win for everyone. Farmers want to get their employees out in the field and being productive as fast as possible. The workers want to get out in the field and start making money as soon as possible.
And, there's a variety of tools out there who are, designed for agriculture and also targeting some of these labor issues. But a lot of the existing tools out there are focused on, time tracking, tracking the hours spent, the piece rate, buckets picked, and that kind of thing, the bins picked. We wanted to focus on the areas where we felt like there was a gap and there was a real need in the market that wasn't really being served by certainly any of the software that we've seen. And so by focusing on, the onboarding of all of the hiring paperwork that employees have to sign, focusing on the safety trainings and sharing health and safety information, and then obviously communication, just providing a tool to break down the language barrier, we felt like those were areas that we just didn't see a whole lot of existing tools out there for.
I mean, if you go into a farm office today, what you're likely to see is tons of file cabinets and stacks of paper all over the place with people, office workers, milling around, filling these things out, filing them in places, maybe even forgetting to file them in places more likely. And we have great organizations out there like the Farm Bureau who are advising farms and providing them with the expertise that's needed to run their business better. But the tooling is what's missing. And that's where we think Harvust fits in. You can get all of your expertise and advice from the Farm Bureau, and then Harvust is there to help you implement that in the most effective way possible.
That is great to hear, and I love hearing about that partnership. Well, the Washington Farm Bureau has been working with you both for a little bit now, and so how did you get connected with the Washington Farm Bureau? Tell me that story.
Yeah, so it actually started. It was a pretty chance meeting. So there's a local gentleman here in Walla Walla. His name is Mark Clicker. He's now our state representative, and we were talking with him one day because he's a family friend of mine, and showing him what we had, and he stopped us and he said, Corwin needs to see this. And so Corwin Fisher, he's a safety director at the Farm Bureau. Mark called him right there in the middle of our meeting, and we talked to Corwin, And we ended up setting up a time where we could go meet Corwin and show him and the rest of the retro team in person. And I think it was at like a conference or something. It was the only time we could find to meet. And we met him there and we showed it to him. And that really kicked off a series of meetings and emails and calls and everything with the Washington Farm Bureau retro safety team, taking a look at our product and really helping us mold it into what agriculture needs operationally, and then also needs regulatory wise and compliance wise. That's kind of how this relationship started. And again, like I said, we are not the expert in this stuff. The Farm Bureau team is. And if we can rely on their expertise and we can provide that tooling, then and work together to enhance each other, then that's really where this relationship has gone and where it's going to continue to go.
Yeah, what I like to say is, James and I are the tech guys. We bring a technology expertise, and what makes a really great partnership is when the Farm Bureau, they bring the safety and labor law expertise and HR expertise. And so those two things combined, I think, is a really powerful combination to help farmers not only know what content, what trainings, what forms to use, but also give them the tools to do that in an efficient way.
All right. So tell me, how did you get involved or connected with the Farm Bureau Ag Innovation Challenge? Tell me a little bit more about that. How did that come about?
Yeah, that was also just kind of random chance. But, we weren't looking for business competitions, but we got an email, I believe it was from James' dad, who still works at Nelson Irrigation. And he got something from the Farm Bureau Federation newsletter and sent it our way. And what really perked our ears was just basically because it is the Farm Bureau. We have this really solid relationship with the Washington Farm Bureau. And basically we saw this as an opportunity to share that story on the national stage and potentially open the doors to other Farm Bureau chapters. I think what we've done here in Washington, doesn't seem like any reason why it couldn't work the same or similar way in California, Oregon, Texas, Florida, wherever. And actually we're already starting to have those conversations with those Farm Bureau directors and safety teams in those other states as well.
Now that is a beautiful segue to my next question. And that's, what's next, guys? What's next for you? What doors are being opened for you? What's the next step for Harvust?
Yeah. So, we've really just focused on building a quality product, and we've just been heads down on making sure the software is right. But we want to, take this moment, hopefully, and go from being a Washington State company to a United States company. Working with other Farm Bureau chapters, starting to bring Harvust software all across the country and grow beyond the borders of our home state. That's kind of the next step for us.
2020 has really catalyzed our focus on safety. And I think the whole industry is going to be different after 2020 when it comes to safety. I think there's a lot more emphasis on it from a regulatory perspective, but also from the growers' perspective too. 2020 threw a whole new book at occupational health and safety for farms and forced them to reckon with it extremely quickly. And a lot of the chapters in that book are here to stay. So we've been really focusing on building out our safety tools to be more in depth and to help make farmers more resilient to these future things. Because regulations, they only add more, right? And so trying to make sure that when those new regulations come down the road, our farms are ready. And it doesn't matter whether they're an apple orchard or a hay company or a dairy. We're there to help farms all across the agricultural spectrum.
We already see the impact from farm workers who share feedback after safety trainings, who tell us all the time, hey, thank you. And, sometimes farmers get feedback like, hey, we ran out of hand sanitizer, simple things that, you wouldn't know if you don't have that connection and the just basic communication ability with your workforce. So it's already been a very, very rewarding experience. And I feel like we just really only seen the tip of the iceberg, honestly.
All right. Now, before I let you go, though, tell me how others can get involved with what you're doing and really take advantage of the services that Harvust provides.
So we would direct everyone to visit our website, www.harvust.com, and that is Harvest with a U. We would be happy to jump on a call or do a demo with anyone who visits the website. And there's all kinds of videos from customers of ours sharing their experience and kind of how they've been using Harvust. I will also say we actually have a partnership with the Washington Farm Bureau right now to provide Harvust safety and communication tools completely free through June 2021 to small farms in Washington. So if you have about 100 employees or less and you're in Washington State, there's a very good chance you qualify for this program, and we'd love to get you going on that. Again, it's basically a free trial for the next 5 months or so on safety and communication.
Another thing I'd like to add to that is if you want to get in touch with us, ask someone at the Farm Bureau. All the staff at the Farm Bureau know how to get in touch with us. If you're in the retro safety program, ask your safety directors, and they can put you in touch with us as well.
That is good. And thanks for that information. I know that we have members who could certainly use this program. And I want to encourage you, our listeners, to reach out to Harvust either through their website or contact us here at Farm Bureau. Take advantage of this service and that generous trial period. Well, guys, again, congratulations on being named 2021's Farm Bureau Entrepreneurs of the Year. That is certainly something to be proud of. And I know that we at Farm Bureau are proud of you and your work, and we look forward to that partnership continuing to grow. So thank you both for taking the time to visit with me and to share your story with us.
Absolutely, Ben. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben.
The WFB Update is a production of the Washington Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture in Washington State, ensuring our family farms continue to feed the world. To learn more, visit our website at www.wsfb.com.